Morning and welcome to the Olympian Table. I'm here this morning with James Lee, a good friend of mine.
Good morning. Good
Morning,
morning.
morning, morning. And I would just like to ask everybody if they could like, subscribe, um, and we'd like to, have you at the show on a regular basis. We're here every Wednesday at 10. So, with that being said, we're going to move on this morning. James said he'd like to take the first topic, and we're going to talk about Damar Hamlin, who's unfortunately still in critical condition. Very, very unfortunate for such, a young man. Um, I really, I really hope that he does take a full recovery.
Yeah.
So, James, what's your feeling on that?
Well, good thing. First off, is that he is still alive, and as it stands, it sounds like there was some good progress overnight for him, according to one of his friends. Um, so the deal with it for primarily for me is that this young man is still breathing. There's still brain activity. So we want to just continue to lift him up in true prayer, not just saying that we do it, but if that's what your belief is, truly pray for him. But Damar Hamlin, young man, if you did not know, you've been under a rock the past day or two, playing the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. He went in for a tackle and um, just a freak accident. Was hit in the chest at just the perfect time, apparently, and causes cardiac arrest on him. They had to perform CPR on him, and he was resuscitated there on the field and taken to the hospital, and he's been there since. They do have him on breathing
Yeah, and
tube.
apparently he died in hospital as
Yeah,
well, and then they
they
resuscitated him.
resuscitated him twice, I believe, in the hospital.
Hmm.
Um,
My
it's
wife, who's a
I
doctor,
liken it to like they talk about the concussions, right? It's literally a bruise to your brain, and it seems like this is the same thing um, that took place to this guy, but in his heart. There is no video on this. I don't know what's going
there's
on
no video.
at all, but there is of course an opportunity for him to get better because he's there in the hospital. So hopefully, that will continue to give him the care that he needs, and we'll just wait and see, what happens. I know a lot of folks. You there now? Okay. We'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, well, we wish him well. We definitely do. Some of the people have said this sometimes happens in ice hockey and baseball,
Hmm.
where you've got high speed objects that are going across the sports field, and if
Oh
it
yeah,
hits you in the center of the chest at the right moment, at the right time, then that's really,
yeah,
what's happening. And it's interesting, the diagram that you've got up on the screen, which
yeah.
is,
I was pulling that up to kind of give some
yeah,
context
explain it
to.
to me, Dr. James.
Well, I'm not a doctor, of course, but they're giving a difference between cardiac arrest and then actually, a heart attack. And it was saying cardiac arrest occurs when the heart it malfunctions. It stops beating, unexpectedly. The arrhythmia, those kinds of things that kind of take place. And it's more of an electrical problem. A heart attack is when it kind of it gets blocked up, like clogged arteries.
That's
Can
what I've
cause
got.
that.
I've got that. So,
Yeah, so when there's not flow to the heart the way that it's supposed to get to. So this chart here is just kind of giving a pretty good overview on to give the difference because we use those terms so interchangeably, cardiac arrest and heart attack, and they're not the same. Similar, but not the same. They're both heart malfunctions. We'll just call it that. Um, but we often use these interchangeably. We just want to make sure we're calling it what it is. So
yeah.
that was just
And
a little
apparently,
piece
heart
I
attacks
found.
are more common than cardiac arrests.
Yes, yes, because we eat so well here.
Well,
We,
when
we
when you're on a Western diet, I've had to change my diet. I mean,
yeah,
completely.
you and me both. I started good yesterday and some baked chicken and little corn
So you,
and potatoes and just kind of.
so you're back on the American diet,
I'm trying to do it, man. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
but it's difficult when every mile or so you've got a McDonald's.
Everything that's bad for you is so delicious. You know what I'm saying? Tacos and pizza and man, it's just
Yeah, well, I haven't had McDonald's for quite some time.
oh man. Don't
I
say
have not had
McDonald's.
McDonald's. I haven't had Wendy's. I haven't had. I've really has been some time.
Well, I did have McDonald's a week or two ago, for the first time in a long time. But
I wasn't going to release that information, but
well, you brought it
but
up.
as
You
you,
know,
as,
it sounded
as
like
you
you wanted
brought it
to.
up, your wife might.
Confession
Your
is good
might
for the
might be
soul.
your wife might listen to this, so I wasn't going to mention it.
It is good for the soul, man. So, anywho,
But the thing that I think is interesting about this is think how the other guy feels.
yeah, this is true because he didn't do anything. He got
No, I
tackled.
mean,
He got tackled, and you know, a lot of people talking about, you know, what's the NFL going to do, and it's taking them a long time to decide on if they're going to play the game
and
or
also
whatever. It's just,
people are talking about, well, what do we do? Do we give the guys 5 minutes warm up and then continue the game, or do we reschedule the game because there's millions of dollars on this game?
man, what millions of dollars? I mean,
You know,
is it worth the
what-
life though?
Right. What should come first? A 24-year-old guy's
Yeah, I don't know.
life. So all these things are sort of the rooster's coming home to roost.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. Anywho,
Because it's going to affect the playoffs, isn't it?
well, it could. Well, Buffalo's already in. Cincinnati, I think, is playing for a spot. The biggest thing is it's affecting Vegas. You know, a lot of people that gamble, and when you start getting in the pockets of those guys, then it's just different. But I don't know. They might have to play it on an off day or whatever the case is. It was at the beginning of the game, first quarter. So, in all fairness, you can't say that one had a big advantage over the other at the time. So,
Right.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
So, with that being said, and Mr. Hamlin, I don't know if it's a good part of it, but I was listening to the news this morning. They're saying that $6 million has been raised for his charity.
So I was going to pull that up to see.
Was it 5 million? 6 million has been raised.
Man,
for
it was
his-
an insane amount, and I know he didn't. Let me see, GoFundMe. I think he was trying to bring it up. Go get like 25,000 or so was his goal, or some small amount.
25,000 was the
Man,
original.
I want to say somebody told me they had gotten to
6
over
million.
6 million.
Yeah.
Let me see where it is
Yeah,
right
fans
now.
donate over 6 million to Damar Hamlin's toy
1,260,000.
drive for kids.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. 2,500 was the goal, so it's $6.2 million now.
Yeah.
You know what? That gives you
Brady
some
it gives you a bit of hope.
some
about
hope
sanity.
in humanity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brady came in with $1 million, and then some others came in with $1 million. You know, you'll get cynical people say, well, what's $1 million? It's $1 million more than they had in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. Matt Stafford,
And-
12,000.
And people should be grateful for that. I mean,
People will give their left nut for $1 million.
The Texans gave 10,000 too. Tom Brady 10,000. Russell and Sierra 10,000.
but there's
Matt Stafford 12. Robert Kraft.
Fanatics have been giving the money that they raise for Hamlin shirts. You know, Fanatics, the company.
Oh
that
yeah,
did all
yeah,
the shirts.
yeah.
I believe they've been donating.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
You know,
I think it's going to raise more than 6 million.
Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will. I mean, shoot, a lot of people giving. If you give $1, I say, you know, it's $1 that they didn't have, regardless of what the amount is that you give, just the sentiment in doing it.
And,
it's
fans as
awesome.
a whole have donated more than 3 million.
Yeah.
You know, the other 3 million has come from the football world or the sports world or whatever. It was nice for the two teams to, you know, well, it wasn't nice, but I mean, it was nice to know the two teams were on the field at the same time praying.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
and that shows what I've always said is, in sports, the sportsmanship part is far more important than
It
winning.
is, and you know, we.
Regardless,
I agree.
that's part of that. The negative side of the American way, which is the winner's the first one, the second one is the second,
The first loser,
the first loser,
right?
and the third one is the second loser, and so far. And that's not what sport should be there for.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you don't want to see anyone get hurt, especially someone in your own field.
I was.
Yeah, you don't want to see them hurt.
As we say that, I was. We manage properties. One of the properties that we manage, one of the neighboring owners has been complaining about one of our tenants, and the kid, who's 7 years old, has been bouncing a basketball against the wall from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. Now, it's all common sense that he shouldn't be doing that. But I said to the father, why don't you get him into a basketball program? Get him into the kid.
Do something with that skill, right?
The kid never ever leaves that basketball. Now that's one of the most competitive games out there, basketball. Yeah. But get him into, AAU or something, which is an advanced program. We've got elite coaches.
Is he against that or no?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a finance issue, or I don't know if it's, but I mean, it takes a bit of dedication, because I did that with my son, to be perfectly honest, AAU, and it's an elite level of coaching. It's travel. It's more competitive. There's the not too nice end of it, because there's some people out there that play a little bit on the dirty side. But
yeah,
that's part of the sport. You've got to handle that. You got to handle the good times and the bad times.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, we'll keep checking on Mr. Hamlin and give updates when we hear.
Hopefully,
hear
we've
things.
got no bad news about that.
Yeah, no news is good news. We'll just keep it there in the middle, for sure. All right, I think you put in this first one, man. The Idaho, the guy. We talked about this a few weeks ago.
It's a real Idaho murder suspect, Brian Christopher Kohlberger, arrested in killings for 4 university students. Cut that a minute.
Yeah.
And basically, he was pulled over. Him and his dad was pulled over by the police nearer the time of the killings, and they was pulled over something nothing to do and related with this.
Oh, at the time, around the time that it happened?
Yeah, I believe it was
a
little bit after. Just a routine traffic stop. They was pulled over, him and his dad. And then later on, a little bit further down the road, he was arrested, and a lot of the law people are sort of saying, well, why was he arrested? Now, Idaho law apparently a little bit protective of the suspects, so they won't release the direct information on why he was released, and also it's interesting because he has refused. Can you just go down a little?
That picture just looks
like he's in jail already.
Man,
just hold on. I just want to hold on. Hold on. I was hoping to read some of it, but it's like that.
Oh, you want to? Which part?
Because there's a there's a word I'm looking for, and it makes it difficult.
You might have to pull it up on the on your laptop here.
Here it is. Look, investigators had focused on tracking down a 2011 2713 Moise Elantra that was spotted near the home at the time of the murders. The mysterious killings initially baffled investigators and left the small college town of 25,000 shaken. The students go down. Good-looking girls as well.
It's unfortunate.
Two surviving female roommates. But there's a reason in Idaho where they can't release the information of part of the prosecution.
For the suspect?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is he was arrested in Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're going to take him back to where the killings happened.
No, he was arrested in Pennsylvania. And
Okay,
he waited.
okay, that's what it is.
He
He
arrested
was
in
arrested in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
He waived his extradition,
There you go.
and then
That-
that
yeah.
basically means that they're going to take him to Idaho to
And he's not fighting.
charge it. No,
He's not fighting. He's saying, "Take me."
yeah.
And that's the part that the legal experts are saying, there's
What's
more
up with that?
There's more to this
Yeah.
there's more to this than what they know.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how all in
Well, the
Pennsylvania.
question is,
wonder what
because
happened.
the father was pulled over in the car, I don't think his parents knew at all or any information. If this young gentleman is found guilty, I don't think his parents had any information at all. Not with my knowledge of what school kids get up to at universities and colleges.
Yeah, because it's unfortunate that your kids get into stuff that you just, no matter how you raise
you
them,
have no control over.
no control. No matter what you put in them, what they see at home, man, they will make decisions and they'll do things
and to
outside of what your raising was with them.
Very, very few students are bipolar because they're one way at home and they're one way at college.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with my wife the other day, because we had a, I guess once you've been married long enough or around someone long enough, you learn, your tales or whatever. So we were sitting in a gathering, and we made eye contact of this individual that walked in, and she does not have a poker face at all. So she'll laugh, and she can't hold her laughter in, and she just continues to laugh. And we later talked about, she's like, "Oh, you're just so silly," And I said, "I'm just me." I'm talking, I'm being myself. I said, the good thing about it is I'm me in the light and I'm me in the dark. There's no two different people. You're not doing one thing here and then doing something else different somewhere else. I think what ends up happening is many people get caught up. Politicians and preachers and ministers, they're one way in front of everybody else, and then next thing you know, they're caught up in some scandal, and they're getting roasted or getting caught up, doing something that they don't have any
They
business
get caught
doing.
up in their own lives.
Yeah, exactly. So, anywho, we'll see what happens with this guy. That picture, he looks a little demented to me, man. I mean, I don't know, almost like he's proud to be there.
Well, they confiscated everything. I was listening to the report this morning. They've confiscated all his computers, his phones, and his social media. They're investigating and everything else. And the police are being criticised for not being quick enough.
Right.
But they can only go as quick. What's more important? To take your time and get the right guy.
Exactly.
Or what we've had in the past is rush, you're guilty. You're in prison for 30 years.
Here's the problem, Stephen. People watching too much Law and Order.
Well, that's exactly the comment that was made.
Cases
when
getting solved in an
believe it or not,
hour.
I was watching Fox News this morning, and that's exactly the comment that Fox News made.
Yeah.
Everything, and there was an attorney on there saying everything has to be done in a particular way, from the police force to the investigations to his computers. There's legal stuff that has to be done, that has to go through a judge to take your computer.
Right. It is
All that has to be done. Then
you
it has
can't
to be
just walk
researched,
and take
it can't be done overnight.
Right.
And the police have been working on this so hard and have done such a good job. And even one of a prosecutor that wasn't involved in this case said that the police have done it the right way.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it takes us. If the guy's innocent, then he's innocent. But
yeah, I don't hope. I definitely hope you don't think I missed that you admitted to watching Fox News. You heard it here
I did.
on the Olympian Table.
But I'd just like to point out everything you submit on our Discord channel is all from Fox News.
Oh no, it is not. It is not, sir. because I never watch Fox News.
So let's talk about the Republicans taking Congress.
Do we have to?
Yes.
My Lord.
I thought Mulvaney on the Republicans who voted against McCarthy yesterday made a very, very, very interesting comment. And his comment was, a lot of as they're trying to all get their votes together for the speaker, they need 218. And apparently there's 18 of them now that don't want to vote.
20.
What's it?
It's up to 20.
Oh, it's gone up. So now there's 20 that don't want to vote for.
He's not going to get it.
Kevin McCarthy. But why don't they want to vote for McCarthy? I don't like McCarthy, but that's not.
They don't either.
But why don't they like him? Because of his associations with MAGA, or they just feel that there is a swamp there and it needs cleaning.
I think that's what it is. Here's my thought. All theory. This is only theory.
No,
you're not going to hear this anywhere else because this is not truth.
This is the Olympian Table theory.
This is not fact. I believe that Republicans don't want Donald Trump as the representative for the 2024. By putting McCarthy in and his ties and his closeness in the situation, it's almost an endorsement of doing so. But I think the idea or the plan is to go a different direction than going with Trump. So a lot of the people, honestly, that are voting against him, those are your true Republicans that care about the party. Not all the other, I mean, he's talking about, it's only the 10%, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. But those are the ones that are standing strong and having some, as we say, 10 toes down to say, I've got my stance. This is what I believe. I'm not going to lean on it. And it's been going from 18, then it went to 19, and now it's up to 20. So it ain't going the right direction for him.
It's in the right direction. And I really think the mistake McCarthy made was when January the 6th happened, and he stood up in front of Congress and said, that he can't support this and he can't do this and he can't do that. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, he was down at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think that helped his perception. I just don't think that, now even if they was just going down there to talk about tea cakes, I just don't think it was the right perception. But I thought it was an interesting comment, all right, from somebody that's just taking charge of Congress, regardless which side you're on, all right? Mulvaney on Republicans who voted against McCarthy, all right? McCarthy's comment was, a lot of these guys like to be famous.
The ones that aren't voting for him?
Yeah.
That's easy. That's a nice little dig, huh? A little sign language.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's why people like you, me, and general people on the street, excuse me, just on the floor. Why you, me, and everybody else on the floor basically are fed up with Congress because what they do is they end up voting. They end up voting as a group and not for the topic.
Right.
So we don't get anybody working with anybody else. It's like everybody's stuck. And that's why I thought that was such an interesting comment. And of course I was interested in, your side of it as well. But so now there's 20 people that don't want him there.
That they voted, that didn't. He's missing 20. That voted.
And who's the other person that's been mentioned?
Jim Jordan.
Yeah.
That's what the word.
But he doesn't want it, doesn't he?
I don't know that he does, but he's an Ohio guy. McCarthy's a California guy.
That surprises me, Kevin
Yeah.
McCarthy. So anyway, let's move on. What's your feeling on the Russia-Ukrainian war?
You don't want to know.
No, I do. That's what I'm asking you.
It's the same
Which is what?
as their business. Why we're even in it? We got more problems over here. We sending all this money over there. I think we have been pulled into that stuff because, unfortunately, Joe Biden has been involved in
Oh,
some
don't give me
goings-ons
that.
with
No,
stuff.
that's-
Hey, do
that's-
you want my opinion? No,
No,
I'm
I
giving
do,
it to
I
you.
do want your opinion,
All
but
right,
I'm
well,
also,
I'm
but
giving
I'm
it.
also going to give you.
Well, let me finish my
Okay,
opinion,
I'm
and
gonna
then
give
you
it to
can
you,
have
okay.
yours. I think Joe Biden's tied into this more than what we realized, and it's almost an obligation for him to help out over there. But we have people here that need help. Our economy needs help, and I'm not really. I've kind of unplugged with the whole Russian Ukraine thing. I wish we weren't even a part of it. There you have it.
Let's go back to the Vietnamese war then. We was Vietnamese war was in that we were supplying
You
ammunition.
mean the one that we got trounced?
You've got, you've got, how about, so with what you said and what happened with 9/11, what are you saying we should have done then?
It's not the same. Not a comparison. We have no 9/11 was in our backyard.
Right. And then if we have, you've got Iran, which I think needs to be stopped. All right. Trump says it needed to be stopped.
We're the problem.
All right.
We're the reason Iran is a problem.
Actually, it's not.
We are.
No, you're not.
You remember Oliver North?
No, the British are.
Well, they're all tied in.
The British are the ones that started the Iranian problem.
We didn't help though.
All right. But to me, I think Putin's got his back to the wall now. And I really think that there is a world global threat, in my opinion, which is coming from Russia. Just like it was from Bin Laden, that he was an extremist. And I think very much Putin is an extremist. And I think that we should supply weapons. I don't think we should get involved and put our boys in the way. But I think as far as equipment, I think we should supply.
Okay, so when does that stop? You're saying we don't put our boys in the way, but when does our reach end? Because if we're giving them weapons,
so you're okay with breaking the. What happens if Russia goes into a NATO country then?
that's a situation. That's an agreement that we've obligated ourselves
Correct.
to. That's different.
Right. And I agree with that.
That's different. You said,
and
hey,
I
we're
agree
in
with
it. We've got to do something. Here's my ultimate thing, and I've never said this out on camera, but this is a distraction of something else. We think Russia, and shoot, even China, there are the biggest threats. I think this is a distraction of just something else that's going on, just to kind of keep us with our eyes over here.
Is this part of your QAnon theory, is it?
No, I don't have any of those theories. But it's a distraction, man. I just really think it is, and that's why I'm not cool with all the money. When they put all this money going over there.
As a European, what I will tell every American over there, if there's going to be a war, it needs to stay over there, and it doesn't need to come over here. And that's really what needs to happen. And I think all the money that does go to Ukraine needs to be paid back over the years. I don't think it should be given.
Do you think it will, though?
I'm not bothered whether it will. I'm saying it should. If it, it should be a loan. It should be based on a loan.
But we know they won't get it back.
But that's part of the problem that China are doing now. What they're doing is building the Silk Road, and what they're doing is they're lending all this money. Poor countries can't pay it back, and they're taking it, and they're increasing their infrastructure, to all over the world. Anyway, let's talk about Tesla. My favorite subject for losing money.
No, man, it's depressing. Okay, what you got? Talk about it.
Well,
I know you're in, man.
I'm
It's actually up today, but
I was into Tesla shares big time, but now they reckon that there's a possibility that they could go down to $30 a share.
ooh,
Elon Musk needs to stop being the showman that he is and be the businessman that he is, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of people that put trust in him, regardless who you say he is. And as a business person, I'll tell you, I made this mistake on a completely different level, which is you can get involved in too many businesses,
mm-hmm.
and what you really need to do is to build a good group of people around you that can, carry you through. But the, the I've argued this point all the way along that the longer it goes, I understand that Tesla are in front of people from a point of view of technology, but other companies are going to be coming into that market fast and furious. It's already started to happen in Europe. You only got to look at Volkswagen.
Gonna be. They're in.
Volkswagen are in big time. They've got the plants. Now, here's the difference. Volkswagen, who's the largest car manufacturer, I believe they're the largest car manufacturer in Europe, they've got the plants. So all they've got to do is to retool the plants to make an electric car. The cars in Europe don't need to go the same amount of distance on an electric car as what they do in America. Because things are a little bit closer. Plus, you've got public transport. So a lot of the times in Europe, what you'll do, you'll park your car, you'll go to a park and ride, and then you'll go into the city. So even the way the houses are built, there's less apartments, there's more houses, so charging is easier.
Yeah.
So, my opinion is with Mr. Elon Musk's help, because there's a lot of people, baby boomers, that put faith in him, and yes, they put them in as investors and investments. But I mean, I've been doing some. I put a lot of faith into him, and I've been pumping some more money in just to keep it level. For the
Right.
time being.
Holding on to hope, right?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
It is.
Because I was relying on, part of my retirement for that, and it's a significant amount of money that I think I've got in there. But when you see, your stock go down 72%, you can send out the alarm bells.
Yeah.
But some analysts are saying that it's going to go down to as much as $30, and God, I hope not. That would be so disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the market's so flooded with it after that triple split.
Well, I think the triple split was a mistake, and did I not say from day one? And the reason why I say it's a mistake is everybody thinks, well, I've got more shares. It's not about how many shares you've got.
Yep.
It's about the value of the shares.
Exactly.
So I would rather hold one share for $900 because I know that less people can buy
afford
that
it.
share.
Exactly.
Which pushes up this was engineered by Elon Musk. Why? So he can sell more shares and make more shares available.
Right.
Now, when he did the stock split, what did he do straight after the stock split?
Sold.
Right. Which is devaluing it even more.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And the only way I can describe this to people is it's a little bit like gold. Gold is it's not a common element. It's
Right.
just not a common element. So the less common it becomes, the higher the value. And that's what I feel should have happened with Tesla. I think it's such a good stock. They've got such good, and plus, at one time there was a 6-month waiting list. Now there isn't a waiting list. They reduced their prices. so the margins aren't as good. The selfless driving did go up. So the interest rate went up, so the financing went up.
Right.
So it's all hit it, and it's hit it good. At the moment, I don't think I have not bought any more Tesla shares, and people have been selling Tesla shares. If you look at some of the platforms, people have been selling Tesla shares. You know, I'm not ready to make the loss yet. I'm just ready to make a bigger loss by not selling.
Well, I will say this just from experience. If you hold on long enough, sometimes it bounces back, and you got to get out when it does.
Do you know what? There's the platform I'm on, and you know what one of the guys said? He said, if you're going to buy a Tesla share, what you need to do is to buy it, hold on to it. All right. And he said the same about Bitcoin. And he said you hold on to it, and then you give it to your sons or your daughter's grandchildren. He said it'll be worth something then. But I think if it goes down to 30 cents a share, I think it could be a problem. Tell us more about these 20 states considering Bentley's law.
So
Bentley sounds like a car.
Bentley is a car. So just to give some backstory, I've never dealt with this because I've never really been a big drinker in my life. I don't drink at all now, but never been it. But apparently the DUI situation across the country has gotten completely out of hand. And there was a drunk driver in Tennessee, I believe where it was, that ran into and killed the parents of Bentley and Mason. She was killed. So those kids were left without parents to raise them because their parents were killed by this drunk driver. So Tennessee signed a bill into law that says that an offender must, if they kill a parent in a drunk driving crash, they have to pay restitution or child support to the children that are left behind up until they're 18 years old. Now, talk about a deterrent when it comes to drinking and driving. Now, there's no excuse for drinking and driving these days. There's absolutely no excuse now. With Uber and Lyft and all these other rideshare companies, there's no excuses for it. It's just a bad choices, bad decisions. So I say anyone that deals with it or has dealt with it, shame on you. That's your problem. That's your issue. You know what it is. But this law, man, Tennessee's already signed it into law. I think they did it early. Early in this year, they proposed it and they signed it in, I think, May, August, somewhere around there. But yeah, those things, man, to be able to think about it, you got to pay child support for some kids that are not yours until they're 18 years old. That's what Bentley's law is basically saying. They are doing it. And guess what? I think Texas is considering it. I don't know that it's here yet, but I think it's considering it. It's in Missouri, and there's a family, a lady in Laredo that she was a mother of 5 children, and her husband was killed. And yeah, this is something that is coming across the country. So I don't know. I'm not against it. What do you think?
I think in theory it's a great idea.
Okay, in theory.
All right, but this is where I think the loophole is.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that conservative extremist that got fined $1 billion for saying all the
Alex Jones,
mm-hmm. You know, for the shooting at the schools and all that.
Yeah,
he's just declared bankruptcy, and you know the people at the schools are not getting nothing. And so
Uh,
I think there's loopholes like that. I mean, I agree with it. I agree with it in principle.
well, here's the thing: in real child support law, you can declare bankruptcy all you want. They take you to jail. If you
Mhm.
don't pay child support, you go to jail. Period. So in Alex Jones's case, the civil suit, okay, that yeah, he can't pay it. But if this is a law that's passed and you are on child support, you go to jail. You don't pay.
I'd be interested to see what the DUI largest age group is.
Let's see.
I mean, are we looking at college students?
Most
You know what? Um, you'd be surprised. I don't think it's just college students. I think it's probably. I mean, that's probably a good portion of it. But let's see where it says age. So from 21 to 24, 27% of fatal alcohol impaired crashes, followed by 25 to 34-year olds at 25%. So 52% of those come from people that are 35, 34 to 21.
You
That
know,
ain't all college students. I mean, we
I
can
mean,
blame them, but
no. I'm
it,
not blaming college students. What I'm saying is a means to pay.
oh, I got you.
You know, you understand where I'm
Well, if you can't pay, you can go to jail.
and then the other part is, would it really stop them? Would it really stop them drinking with peer pressure that goes on in colleges? Because there's a lot of peer pressure that I think goes on in colleges. I've seen it at my daughter's
Right.
school. She hasn't, but I've seen it. You know, we go there for a part,
Yeah.
you know, for a day, and there was a little bit of peer pressure. So that's sort of it. I mean, if it's the right thing to do, which I think it is, and I think it's a good idea, then I think it should be. You know, um, I don't think there's anything. It that's what worries me. Is one, will it be effective in actually stopping people driving under the influence?
Well, I think a lot of people may not even know about it. Because I don't think people realize. Only I have family that have dealt with this, so that's the only reason why I kind of know firsthand.
Or you've had a family member that's been hit by somebody,
No, that's dealt with a DUI. There family members and friends that I know that's dealt with DUI.
but they got caught
they were driving.
under the
They didn't
influence.
get into a wreck, but they were pulled over
Okay.
and dealt with that. But some I don't think the mass majority of people realize the penalty of DI. That whole $10,000 ticket stuff, that's real. That's not like a fake number. You end up paying 10,000 plus to clear yourself of a DUI. That's a real situation. So it's not like a speeding ticket. You really don't know what you're gonna get. Oh, I'm speeding. It might be, $100, $200, whatever the case is. But when it comes to DUI, man, that cost of that ticket, lawyer fees, and if you got to go back to court and all this crap, it's a lot. It is a lot for those tickets. So yeah. Anywho, that's the law that they're considering in it.
Do you think it would honestly deter?
If it's made common knowledge. Remember back in the day, they had the MAD groups, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That was a real big thing back then because there was some focus on it. Now we don't have those focus groups as openly out in front, pushing it. We don't hear about it as much. So I think it would be have to be
My
a concerted effort to bring it
one
to
of
the
my
forefront.
concerns is, and perhaps you're going to say I'm coming off the subject a little bit, but one of my worries although I do think it should be made legal, is with adding marijuana to this mix.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Adding them to the DUI piece.
Mm-hmm.
I
If
never.
somebody's driving under the influence of marijuana.
Well, I don't think I've ever heard anybody get in a wreck and kill somebody because they was on marijuana though. Usually they're in the car asleep somewhere. sitting I heard a comedian say, sitting at a stop sign waiting for it to turn green. It's like, that you usually don't.
Isn't there a high point though? At one point.
Well, and I don't know if they have those tests to test for that. You might be high, but usually when somebody's smoking marijuana, I don't even know why they call it high. Because the person that I see is on marijuana,
They're always
there's
asleep.
no high energy about them. They're just kind of just out of it a bit. That's neither here nor there.
But Bentley's law. So that'll be
It'll be interesting
going forward.
It will.
All right.
Oh man, that went fast. That went fast for us. What the heck is that?
There we go.
Just close the window.
You can't possibly believe it.
Kai compares hundreds of travel sites at once.
One of those ads that pop up automatically
Okay.
starts playing.
All right then. Well, that leaves us at the Olympian table for another week. So until next week,
Yes.
we will be working hard and working on some stuff for everybody. If you need to, or if you need information in the real estate world, please feel free to hook up with us. Or you got any comments, please leave the comments in the chat about anything, to be perfectly honest. I mean, not just real estate. We're a real estate company and investors, but at the same time, you're more than welcome to add your opinions to our chat, and we'd love to hear from you. And James?
All right. We will look forward to speaking with you guys
And we look forward
next
to
week.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care.
Peace.